This is Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost. It's 10 o'clock. Some breaking news. 11 people missing after a fire at a holiday home for disabled people in eastern France. A report coming up. Northern Ireland Police mistakenly revealed the name, job and location of all of its officers in a monumental security breach. Perfectly decent accommodation. The immigration minister stands by his party's deputy chair following foul-mouthed comments over migrants. The China effect, falling prices in Beijing prompt concerns about what a Chinese slowdown will mean for the economy here. Pollution versus payments. 6 of Britain's biggest water companies face legal action over claims they underreported sewage to overcharge customers. 100 days, zero signs of progress. The Hollywood strike shutting down the film industry. A very good morning to you. We start with that breaking news that 11 people are missing after a fire broke out at a holiday home for disabled people in eastern France. A huge rescue operation was launched after flames were reported at the property where 17 other people were led to safety. Well, it happened at around 6:30 this morning at a cottage in the town of Whitsunheim, which is located in the northeast of the country. In the last hour, the Interior Minister, Gérald Darmanin, said in a statement early this morning, a fire broke out in a home for disabled people in Whitsunheim, Hout-Rhin. Despite the rapid and courageous intervention of the fire brigade, to whom I pay tribute, several casualties are reported, and the operation is continuing. We will bring you more on that breaking story as soon as we get it. We'll be speaking to our Europe correspondent, Adam Parsons, in just a little moment, so do stay with us for the update on that breaking story. To our other lead story now. Shocked, dismayed and angry. That's the sentiment felt among police officers across Northern Ireland this morning after details of their names, jobs and locations were accidentally published in what's being described as a monumental security breach. The organisation representing the officers says it's been inundated with concerns after the police service of Northern Ireland apologised and blamed human error. Well, the information was published online by accident yesterday in response to a Freedom of Information request, which asked about the number of staff at the service, including all ranks across the organisation. The police information was uploaded at 2:30 yesterday afternoon and remained online for between 2.5 to 3 hours. The data breach was recognised by the force at 4 p.m. and taken down within the hour. The Assistant Chief Constable, Chris Todd, has apologised for the breach.
I owe it to all of my colleagues to make sure that this is investigated thoroughly, and we've initiated that. I do apologise to officers. This is unacceptable. In terms of the security for individuals, there's nothing at the moment to suggest that there's any immediate security concerns, but we have put actions in place to ensure that if anything does arise, we will be aware of that, and then we can mitigate accordingly.
Our senior Ireland correspondent David Blevins joins us now from Belfast. And David, the scale of this is quite unbelievable.
Monumental, according to the Police Federation of Northern Ireland, and the disbelief among the rank and file and civilian staff here has turned to anger. They say they are required to rigorously adhere to data protection regulations, and they can't believe their own security has been breached literally by the push of a button. We now know, as you've been explaining, that the Police Service of Northern Ireland received a Freedom of Information request, but someone inadvertently attached a spreadsheet to the reply, giving not just the ranks but the names of every officer and the name of every civilian member of staff to that website, and it ended up published online for a period of time. Why is that so serious in Northern Ireland? Well, because Northern Ireland is the one part of the United Kingdom where the terrorist threat is still deemed severe, meaning an attack is highly likely, and the threat comes from dissident Irish Republican groups like the self-styled New IRA, who are continuing to pursue Irish unity by violent means. That's a conglomeration, I suppose, of breakaway factions who are opposed to the peace process, and the threat they pose is very real. Earlier this year we saw them carry out a gun attack on Detective Chief Superintendent John Caldwell. He was seriously injured in that attack in Omagh. So there is anger. Officers here have always lived under the threat of violence, but I think it would be fair to say this morning they are living in fear and demanding answers. The Chief Constable, who's on holiday, is under pressure to cut short that holiday and return, and of course the security of his officers will not be his only concern, given that all of those officers who've had their security breached are now arguably entitled to hefty compensation.
David, thanks so much for that, and we will be discussing this story throughout the show today. Guests on it at both 10:30 and 11:30. Well, still to come this hour on Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic.
Is this the real deal? How a new agreement between a tech and music giant could change music as we know it. The Stuff of Dreams, a lottery winner in Florida, scoops a massive payout on the Mega Millions jackpot, the third largest ever in US history. We've got the details. And the Immigration Minister, Robert Jenrick, has backed controversial comments made by the Tory party vice chair about asylum seekers complaining about moving onto the Bibby Stockholm. Lee Anderson said those who don't want to live on the barge should F off back to France. Well, speaking to Sky News, Robert Jenrick said the remarks reflected the views of the British public. He also defended the government's response to the small boats crisis after Lee Anderson said it had failed.
We all choose our own language, but what Lee was expressing was the deep frustration of the British public, not just at the numbers of people crossing the channel, but the apparent refusal of some people to accept perfectly decent accommodation on this barge. I genuinely believe that the UK has the most comprehensive plan of any European country to tackle this issue. And whilst numbers are rising very significantly, 400% increase in the number of people crossing the central Mediterranean in the first quarter of this year into Italy, we have actually seen the numbers fall.
Well, the Shadow Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, said his strong language was merely a distraction from government failure.
This is ramping up the rhetoric, and as a result, really should just try and distract from the fact that the government is failing. Instead of ramping up the rhetoric, instead of promoting division, what they should be doing is getting on with sorting the problems out. Rishi Sunak's plan is just not working at the moment.
Go live to Westminster and our political correspondent Ali Fortescue. Ali, it's funny because this story's obviously been front and centre all week. We've been discussing how it's likely to go down with voters, and perhaps the scale of coverage might not be as positive as the government is clearly imagining it might be for them. Interesting that overnight we clearly got a bit of both sides just from a member of their own party.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they wanted us to talk about immigration. That's happened. But in doing so, have they kind of brought too much scrutiny of the progress of their policies? It was interesting. So there's two interesting things that we've heard from Lee Anderson in the last 24 hours. He, of course, was made deputy party chairman, which I think was always a pretty risky decision by Rishi Sunak. He has never been someone unafraid of sharing his views. He's always been quite bold, I think, in his statements. But he's seen as someone who can resonate with some parts of the country, particularly red wall voters, which is why I think Rishi Sunak wanted to bring him inside the tent and make him part of the top team. So we had first, as you mentioned, these comments telling people that don't want to board the Bibby Stockholm barge that they should F off back to France, which obviously is not the usual sort of language you hear from a politician. Obviously has been widely criticised by Labour and by charities. Interesting though that the government didn't really distance itself from his comments. What, however, they did distance themselves from was later on when Lee Anderson effectively said that he thought the government was failing on its immigration policy, which is not what you expect from a senior figure in the party to say that they think. He said there's no doubt the government is failing on illegal migration. So some pretty significant blue on blue there. As I say, not what you need when he is a man that's meant to be kind of galvanising the party and helping them to win the next election.
Ali, a little bit of more blue on blue as well this morning, of a quite different nature. And of course, there's a lot of different sub-factions across the party. Most notably, of course, former Boris Johnson fans like Nadine Dorries. But Jenrick, I guess, wasn't a Boris Johnson enemy per se. Interesting what he said about Dorries this morning.
Yeah, I mean, he went further than Rishi Sunak has done previously, just to remind people, not that anyone necessarily needs reminding, Nadine Dorries, arch Boris Johnson ally, who of course served in his cabinet. There they are together. She resigned in the wake of his resignation and the honours list, and everyone expected that to very quickly trigger a by-election in her mid-Bedfordshire constituency, but she says she won't formally resign until she gets more information about why she was denied a peerage. So she's dragging this out, but now there are moves, certainly from Chris Bryant in Labour, who says that if she doesn't attend Parliament for 6 months, she should be chucked out. She should face a penalty. MPs should vote on a suspension, and potentially that suspension could lead to a by-election. She hasn't spoken in Parliament since July 2022. She hasn't voted since April, so it would take till October, the end of October, if she is going to reach that 6 months. So he is pushing for that, but I think you heard the government perhaps at the end of their tether today. Rishi Sunak previously did say that she should be serving her constituents, but I think we heard Robert Jenrick going further today, saying yes, that she should basically move on and step down and trigger a by-election.
Ali, thanks so much for that. Ali Fortescue in Westminster for us. Let's return now to the top story this hour, that breaking news that 11 people are missing after a fire broke out at a holiday home for disabled people in eastern France. 17 others were led to safety, with one person taken to hospital, according to the local authorities. A reminder, as we told you at the top of the hour, the fire broke out at 6:30 a.m. in the town of Witzenheim. That's located, as you can see here from this map, northeastern France. And authorities say there were likely several casualties after the fire ravaged the cottage, which was hosting the group from the nearby area of Nancy. Well, in the last few moments, President Macron has tweeted. He said, in Witzenheim, flames engulfed a gîte that was providing accommodation for people with disabilities and their carers. In the face of this tragedy, my thoughts are with the victims, the injured and their families. Thank you to our security forces and emergency services. Coming from President Macron in just the last few moments. And as we said earlier, our Europe editor, Adam Parsons, will join us with the latest on this breaking story during the course of the hour. Now, the Chinese economy is showing the first signs of slipping into deflation as the country struggles to revive demand following a long period of COVID lockdowns, of course, last year. The consumer price index fell 0.3% in the year to July. Some difference, of course, from the inflation that is still being felt sharply here in Europe. Well, our Asia correspondent Helen Ann Smith joins us live now from Beijing. And Helen Ann, just break down for us, I guess, what data we did get this morning and why it is potentially so damaging for the outlook for the Chinese economy more broadly.
Yeah, well, we got monthly and annual inflation figures for China's economy in the same way that we get them in the UK. And that crucial measure that we tend to look at when we measure whether prices are going up and down, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, showed that here in China, unlike so many other countries in the world, prices are actually falling rather than increasing. Deflation is not a word we talk about all that often. Frankly, it's actually not a particularly normal economic phenomenon, and it might seem strange given how much we've sort of worried about the high inflation we've been facing in Europe to say that actually deflation is a phenomenon that actually worries bankers and governments, central bankers, actually a little bit more than rising prices. And that's because if it's allowed to spiral, if it's allowed to really take hold, the impacts can be very, very serious indeed. It erodes confidence. It really goes at sort of the profits of businesses. It damages investor confidence, and ultimately it can lead to wide job losses, which of course brings a whole raft of of its own problems. So the big question, of course, is why? Why is China looking at sinking prices when so much of the rest of the world is facing the opposite problem? Well, look, the reasons are multiple and complex. The key one, though, is that's deeply, deeply damaged consumer confidence coming off the back of the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember, in China, there were months of deep, difficult lockdowns, thousands of businesses closed, family savings depleted, and people just haven't gone back out and started spending in the way that the government hoped that they would. There's other problems too, years of overstimulus, if you like. China spent so many years building, constructing, producing. There's now this problem where there's a bit too much stuff, if you like, in the economy. Look, just worth saying that a lot of economists agree this is relatively unlikely to sort of continue and become really entrenched. There's some signs in the data, for instance, month-on-month inflation, actually prices went up, and if you take core inflation, which strips out some of the more volatile factors like energy, that also went up. So this is not sort of disastrous at the moment, but I think it's still a really significant moment.
And Helen Ann, it's really interesting because I guess it's not been the only data point or storyline coming out of China in the course of the last month or two that just points generally to an economy that is not doing as well as some had hoped post that reopening last year when they came out of the COVID lockdown. And one aspect of that of course people in Europe and here in the UK will be looking at very closely is the trade data, and the export data from China earlier this week itself was quite disappointing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just a couple of days ago, import and export data. And for July, compared to last year, exports down 14.5%, imports down 12.4%. These are really big numbers. Remember, of course, that does compare to a year ago, which was at sort of the height, the sort of back end of the pandemic where people were doing a lot of online ordering and whatnot from China. So it might slightly skew the figures, but still, this is really worrying economic data for China. And it has a load of other problems too. 1 in 5 young people in China are currently unemployed. Really, really historically high levels of youth unemployment here. There is a major crisis underway in the property market as well. That's extremely complicated, but again, a result of a lot of overbuilding and overborrowing and big debt burdens in the property market. And it all points to an economy that just really isn't in great shape at the moment. This is hugely concerning for China. Internally, absolutely, because remember, this is a one-party system. The government here absolutely relies on solid economic numbers for its legitimacy, really. But also internationally as well, because if China's economy is not doing well, that affects all of us. Because China, of course, is so intricately linked with so many other economies in terms of trade. Just take deflation, for example. If there is deflation really setting in here in China, that will massively weaken demand for all those imports that the UK and others like to send to China. It also means that cheap Chinese goods potentially undercut goods and services from all across the world. So this is not just a China problem if these things continue, and if the government doesn't get a handle on it, it will affect all of us.
Certainly will, and Helen, I guess worth focusing as well on Germany, of course. Germany perhaps the most tied of Europe's economies to China, and worth noting as we end the story that, of course, it's all talking about slightly slower positive growth rates in China as opposed to recessions and some of the risks that you might apply to economies closer to home. Slower growth as opposed to declining growth. Helena, thanks so much. Well, staying with some economic news, but closer to home, there are warnings that the UK is at a risk of recession next year. The National Institute of Economic and Social Research said that by 2024, income inequality will have grown along with unemployment and levels of debt. The economic think tank points to pressure from higher interest rates and unemployment. The Canadian rapper Tory Lanez has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for shooting fellow artist Megan Thee Stallion. The jury heard he had fired a gun at the back of the singer's feet and shouted at her to dance as she walked away from a car in which they'd been travelling in 2020. His attorney said he thought the sentence given was extreme. Let's give you an update on the latest in Pakistan now, where Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister, has launched an appeal against his conviction for corruption. On Saturday, Mr. Khan was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Mr. Khan maintains the charges are politically motivated, which the Pakistani government denies. Let's bring in Saima Mohsin, who's in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, for us. And Simon, I guess the appeal was somewhat expected. The question is whether it continues to get traction for the former Prime Minister and his supporters.
Well, the very latest is that the appeal hearing has been adjourned for today. So the appeal hearing has been adjourned for today. We understand that inside Imran Khan's lawyers said that the trial court's conviction was unlawful, that the trial court was wrong to hand down the maximum sentence. And they're calling for the High Court here in Islamabad to quash both the conviction and the sentencing pending an outcome of the appeal. They want Imran Khan out of that high security prison where he's being kept in what I was told were dark and dingy conditions with no access to the outside world, and sometimes even his lawyers are being denied access to them. So that's what's going on here at the High Court. Across the road at the Supreme Court, there is another case being heard against Imran Khan in which he has been granted an extension on his bail. But I'm also being told, and I'm just going to switch to that message from his party, which says that they are requesting to provide Imran Khan homemade food to factor out food poisoning. That is how seriously concerned the party and his supporters are for Imran Khan's safety. This isn't just about the imprisonment of a former prime minister. This isn't just about removing him from office and stopping him from running for an election. This is about his safety too.
Simon, thanks so much. Simon Mohsin there in Islamabad. Well, you're watching Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost, and coming up, why collaboration between Google and Universal Music could significantly impact the songs we listen to. We'll be right back.
I'm Katie Spencer and I'm Sky News' arts and entertainment correspondent. When you think of Glastonbury, it's mud you want and music. They're going to cross to us live in a minute. Okay. Thank you so much. Brad Pitt is now a prolific producer behind the scenes.
It's not a mystery to me. We always were capable of doing this.
Oh, they're wonderful children as an audience.
Who did that?
Maverick here on the red carpet. I'm so excited, Tom Cruise. This is the story of the night.
It's a little independent film that could.
We take you to the heart of the stories that shape our world.
Nor have I ever struck any woman in my life.
There's this illusion of power.
Are you feeling well?
I remember covering the Oscars and that now infamous moment, the Will Smith slap. Nobody could quite believe that it happened. You can tell from these crowds just how excited people are for the return of Pride.
These actors playing the lead roles were born long after the Sex Pistols broke up.
Are you pleased that you did say yes to the job?
I've never regretted it.
As a team, we've interviewed some of the biggest stars in the world. It can be incredibly surreal being swept up in their world, but we try to give you an honest sense of how these people really are.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Don't leave me!
Yeah, okay.
There's no easy goodies. There's no easy baddies.
I've had a great time here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
The pound has rallied. Moderation, interest rates peaking.
I'm up at 6%.
The highest for 14 years.
Will that be the peak? Will it be a little bit lower?
Crisis.
It's closer to a potential crash.
So many words, so many meanings. But what do they mean for you and your finances? Stay up to date on Sky News.
Welcome back. Well, last time around, it was day 100 that brought to an end the Hollywood writers' strike. But fast forward today, the current dispute marks the very same milestone, and there appears to be little sign of any agreement. The action taken by writers, who were since joined by actors too, is putting the entire movie industry at a virtual standstill. Our US correspondent Martha Kellner has this report from Los Angeles.
Get over the sidewalk, thank you.
Why did the robot cross the road? Well, to join the picket line like every other struggling actor in Hollywood right now.
Make some noise!
100 days into a writer's strike. and a month into an actors' strike that have brought this industry to a halt. And there's no hint of an agreement around the corner. Few understand the complexities of reaching a deal better than Seth Rogen, an actor, writer and exec producer.
There is a lot of solidarity among the performers, but in the studio side of things, everyone's in it for themselves.
Rogen thinks that even getting the different studios on the same page is a big problem.
These are people who hate each other, people who are in direct competition with one another. To think that Universal has the same priorities as Netflix is insane, you know? So that's what concerns me, honestly, is that they will be completely unable to bring forth a coherent and unified proposal because of their own infighting and you know, divergent priorities.
The strikes persist over two key issues, dwindling pay and the rise of artificial intelligence. Many here believe it's eroding creativity and threatening jobs.
We can all be artificially generated. That's frightening. That's not art as far as I'm concerned. That's, what do you call it? Digital lotion on the film. You know, like when you get a little ash, you need that lotion. That's digital lotion out there. We need something that's far more important. We need the art of human beings. I want to know, would William Shakespeare stand for this? I think not.
In 2021, we won the Time Best Inventions, which was great.
In Santa Monica, this company say they can use artificial intelligence to end bad foreign language dubbing.
So this is the world's most advanced face tracker.
Take a listen to this Swedish language film.
Du är en prick från hamna på ungdomsanstalt, så du börjar hänga med de där dårarna igen.
Using AI, they were able to imitate the actors' faces. Now the same clip in English.
You're one black mark away from youth custody, and you want to hang out with those idiots again?
Chief Executive Nick believes AI enhances filmmaking.
I can understand why people are scared. I think that Gen AI is legitimately as powerful as people talk about, but we work very much in cooperation with all the stakeholders in LA. We have done for a long time. I'm not sure that technology is ever the bad guy. I think it's like how it's used.
On the picket line, few see it that way.
Come on down to Uniontown.
This strike is already one of the longest and hottest in Hollywood history. A marathon with no finish line in sight. Martha Kellner, Sky News, Los Angeles.
Well, sticking with the topic of AI and its impact, well, music and the question of how you tackle the rise of so-called deep fake songs on social media and elsewhere. One music company is in talks to monetize the AI trend by licensing their artists' melodies and voices. The rise in AI has led to a surge in material which effectively mimics the voices of the established musicians. Take, for example, this from Johnny Cash that's been doing the rounds on TikTok.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair.
In fact, a mimic and a little bit better than my version in the shower, but only just. Sky's Sabah Chowdhury now joins us with this story. Sabah, I mean, it's really interesting because you can totally understand why artists and the music companies want to push back on things like that, which are so clearly a copy of the original, but a rather clever way of approaching it is by, in fact, monetizing the copies.
Good morning, Wolf. Absolutely. This is the music industry's attempt to effectively, as you say, trying to monetize one of its growing threats. And that's artificial intelligence. Now, what we're seeing is a huge problem for the music business, a rise in what's known as deep fake songs. This is essentially where the songs, the melodies, the lyrics of artists are being mimicked in a rather convincing way and often without their consent. So we heard the example of Johnny Cash there singing Barbie Girl. You know, you could argue it's perhaps something he wouldn't have sung in his heyday. Another example doing the rounds on social media is Frank Sinatra singing a hip hop song, Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. Now, rapper Coolio, some people may argue that this, what we're seeing, the mixing of genres, is creative, is experimental, it's new, it's exciting. But artists today are saying that this is something that's deeply concerning them, and they worry that it's effectively diluting their music. Now, this is why Google and Universal Music effectively want to do something about this. They're currently in early talks, I should say, to license the melodies and the songs of artists. And the reasons they want to do this are to have regulation and control over the market to protect artists' voices. As we know, they often are the most valuable part of their livelihood, to maintain copyright laws, and also to give artists the option, really, for if they want to opt in or out of this framework, also giving them the option to have royalties. So it will be interesting to see where this sort of new world of emerging artificial intelligence takes us within the music industry.
Sabah Chowdhury, thank you so much. Right, time for a quick look at the weather now.
Warm memories wherever you go.
Will be warmer and drier, but Atlantic rain will bring cooler conditions for the weekend. Today it will be a bit warmer than average for most. Many places will be dry and quite sunny this afternoon, but Northern Ireland and some southwestern British coasts will stay quite cloudy after a rather murky, damp start. Western Scotland and the east of Ireland may see fog and low cloud around the coasts too. It'll stay mostly fine overnight, but Ireland and Northern Ireland will see extensive low cloud, patchy drizzle and some hill and coastal fog. Responds as 11 people are missing at a holiday home for disabled people. We'll speak live to our Europe correspondent.
SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world in a just. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it is Starr Radio UK and the morning show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus and and that's what makes you great.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today is the 9th day of August, the year 2020, exactly 3. Time now, it's 7:44 from the hearts of London. It's a Wednesday edition of the morning show. And I want to welcome you all to the show. I am Archie, and let me say morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. See to it that everything is working perfectly. Bishop Adesina, good morning. Olakunle, good morning. Anthony Dede G. Aziz, good morning to you all, gentlemen. And all you wonderful ladies, wherever you might be, listening to us from as well. Across the board, I salute each and every one of you. It is a Wednesday edition of the morning show, and of course, we start in the fourth position from press with time. But hey, don't be worried at all. There's lots going to be coming your way.
Love for you runs things. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a dawn
Okie dokie do. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Felix, good morning. Kojo, good morning. Kofi Ali, good morning. Dr. Martin, good morning to you. And all you wonderful listeners listening to us here in the UK, I salute each and every one of you. Okay, let's crack on. I'm bringing you the code for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock, we'll bring you Mr. Olayomi Koiki on updates from Nigeria. To continue from there at 11:30, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions at 12 o'clock. The curtains are brought down for the end of the program. Yes. So that's what's going to be happening today. So stay tuned. From archaeology to zoology, from a crowd to Zanzibar, it's making the headlines, going to touch on it. But rest assured, if you are standing, hold on to something, sitting, buckle up, get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate, and let's take this journey to the known. So the quote for the day says, those who labor at something work hard to make it a reality. Those who labor at something work hard to make it a reality. So you're sweating, people don't see it, you are still doing everything possible. Keep on keeping on, you'll get there one day. Alright then, Starr Radio UK, transmitting on all our media platforms. You can post your comments or your whatever it is on our page, and I promise you one thing already during the course of the program as well. Moving on straight to the weather front. This morning it looks a bit warmer, calmer than it's been of late. So I think that we're going to be experiencing some holiday moments here, or nice summertime here, right? Okay. So this afternoon we'll see areas of cloud building in from the west. The odd shower can be ruled out, another thickest cloud, but it should stay generally dry. Sunny spells will still break through. Now tonight will be mild with a mixture of cloudy periods and a clear spell at times. Some hail fog will be possible in places as well. Current temperature 24 degrees, the lowest is going to be 14 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level high, pollution low. Sunset 20:35 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 05:36 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. 10:48 the time.
Love for you runs things.
Let's take a quick break and I'll bring you the travel update. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. Also keep it navigating. I promise I'm on the Starr Radio UK update. I come to you every weekday from 10:40. It's now travel updates. Yes, it's now 10:49. Let's crack on. Let me bring it or do it swiftly. Now, on the major roads in London, we have A12, A23, and A40. That's got serious delays. On the underground this morning, Bekeloo line. Bekeloo and Victoria lines have got path closures and minor delays respectively. London Overground path closures, London Trambling path closures there as well. On the riverbank this morning, Woolwich has still got planned closures. That aside, all the others have got good service. London Cable Car good service there as well. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as I bring you to the final bit of the travel updates this morning. Now, on the National Rail this morning, Chiltern Railways, Cross Country, Great Northern, Greater Anglia, Southwestern Railway, Southern, and Thameslink have all got special services. Now, East Midlands Rail, and Mersey Rail has also got minor delays, but Gatwick Express has got no service. So, if you are planning of traveling along those routes, please check before you leave. And that's how I will say it, yeah. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes still on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK 1052 from the hearts of London, and it's time for me to bring you all that you need to know when it comes to the stories making the round this morning across the globe. Okay, so let's start it from what we're going to be looking at when we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on this morning. Just bear with me whilst I do so. Just bear with me whilst I do so. Okay. Yes. A sad story there. A sad story pertaining to the founder, the Nigerian pastor and Fountain of Life founder, Pastor Odukoya, is dead. I remember the Fountain of Life. I back in the day, I think I heard a few times about them, but he has passed on. But well, let's look at some of the other stories making around this morning. When it comes there to Nigeria, why are you 10-year-old niece as drug courier? A Lagos trader is saying it, and then businessman hits wife head against wall and victim dies. Why? Anger? And another story. Relatives of a 30-year-old Rafayat Okewole are currently grieving over the sudden death of the lady allegedly in the hands of her husband. Well, abuse, domestic abuse there as well. Tinubu desperation to block release of his Chicago University records abnormal, puzzling. A U.S. lawyer is saying that Army will employ overseas Nigerian doctors returning home in military hospitals. Lagbaja. Also Nigerian doctors. Okay. Is it Nigeria or Nigerian? Okay, the Army will employ overseas Nigerian doctors returning home in military hospitals. And then family of late medical doctor Diazo have been killed by faulty elevator at Lagos Hospital may sue over the tragic death. It's not that they may, they should. I said that the first day when the incident did happen, or when we had information, I said that they need to sue. They need to sue. Yes, negligence. That's caused the death of this lady. Okay. And then when I dug deep into the real origins of Ghana Must Go, dug deeper into the friction between Kwame Nkrumah and Nigeria after the paper independence. Well, some other story there. Yeah, we'll be bringing more about that. Well, we make the world, lots of stories make the world go round, doesn't it? Now, so we're saying let's so we're 40 meters a mile. They send huge funds to their individual bank accounts to enjoy undeserved holidays, and then urge you to pray for your country or send prayers to you. Revolution now. Now, he's talking about the fact that what the politicians are doing. And I say it all the time. Our politicians, are they there to serve us? No way. If that's what you are thinking, then you are joking. Because they go in now. Now, let's assess them in the next 6 months and see what they've done. Now, those who are crafty will just channel it through their friends and relations. So you don't see that they say, you know me, I'm clean, hands clean, I'm gonna look at everything. But meanwhile, behind the scenes, they've robbed you big time. And when it comes to elections, they can't give you some few nairas, and you'll be killing yourself, doing all sorts, and just voting for them again to come and rule over you again. Well, it is All Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Which African country do they go to elections? And I tell you that it's policies that they are using to elect, and not because the person comes from my homeland or it's close to me and all that stuff that comes with it. Now, in other parts of the world as well, Ethiopia, WFP tests resumption of food aid in Tigray. The UN World Food Program said on Tuesday that since the end of July, it has been testing the resumption of food aid disruption there as well. And 41 migrants die in shipwreck off Italy's Lampedusa coast. And then Sierra Leone says 14 soldiers, 3 police under investigation for subversion. Genocide in Rwanda, survivors disappointed by UN verdict. The verdict that said that they should release the man. I don't know whether it's for old age or whatever it is. South Africa, at least 3 dead in minibus strike paralyzing Cape Town. Any taxi strike like this that drags on days on end is going to be very damaging to our economy, and as tourism economy in particular, our tourism economy in particular. Let me say good morning to Eben and Chantel in Cape Town. I hope you guys are doing very, very well and keeping safe there. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In other parts of Africa as well, well, the Cecilia Dapa debacle still goes on there, and a flag bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Kwabena Japan, has said that he is disappointed. Former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa kept huge sums of money in her home. He said that in his age, he stated that in the age of digitization, the government should be encouraging and trying to get all Ghanaians within the formal setting of the economy. Hence, Mr. Ejapon said he finds it disappointing that Mrs. Dapa, who was a minister, strayed from this. So, you got money, you got it genuinely, why don't you put it in the bank? Why don't you put it in the account? Are you scared that somebody will say it? Allowing MPs to supervise common funds may breed corruption, analyst is saying there. Okay, we'll bring you more about that. And others resigned within 21 days to end impunity at Bank of Ghana. That's what the NDC is advocating for. So lots more going to be coming your way from there as well. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. In other parts of the world, Amazon nations fall short of pact on deforestation. A summit in Brazil sees countries that share the Amazon basin agree only to a new alliance on the issue, but they fall short of making decisive decisions that, look, we're not going to be doing that. Of course, I say it all the time. You don't want them to cut down the tree so that they can use it to do whatever thing that they are. What are they getting in return for that? Are they paying huge sums for their energy bills? Meanwhile, there was a tree behind their houses. They could have worn it down. They can cut it. They can make charcoal out of it or do all sorts. But you say don't do it. But you've done that, okay, to develop your part of the world. So what do? Then you have to now compensate them for that. But are they giving them enough? And even if they give them, does it trickle down to those who are on the ground who are doing that or such? Wow. Starr Radio UK. There are other things they are doing, mining and all sorts there as well. But if people are going to get enough money to say that don't do that, then fine. They might heck into that. If not, okay. Ohio vote win for abortion rights supporters. A vote to raise the bar to amend Ohio's constitution became a battle of abortion rights in the state. And in Texas, interestingly, a woman has been injured after a hawk dropped snake on her. A passing hawk drops a serpent on Peggy Jones as she mows grass, leading to a three-way struggle. You know, it's quite an interesting one. I bet you if this one is Africa, I would say that this one is witches and wizards who have caused that. Yeah. But well, that is what is happening there. And Tory Lanez has been jailed for Megan Thee Stallion's shooting. A judge in LA sentenced the rapper to 10 years for injuring Megan Thee Stallion in a 2020 shooting. And Portugal battles wildfires amid third heat wave. Temperatures in excess of 40 degrees are expected to hit much of the Iberian Peninsula this week. So if you're embarking on traveling there, boy oh boy, you are being warned. All right, 11 missing after fire at France holiday home gutted the community there as well. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In the UK front, mistakenly human error, police frightened after names revealed in error. And Northern Ireland former Justice Minister says the family and friends of some officers will be jeopardized. Their names have been released. Yeah. Okay, a migrant changing minds on move to barge. A significant number who had refused to board have changed their minds, the immigration minister is saying. What did they tell them? A UK signs Turkey deal to disrupt smuggling gangs. It includes increased collaboration and intelligence sharing, but no deal to return failed asylum seekers to Turkey. Now the question is, even France, where they are coming from, crossing over, you can't take them back there. France will say, you give them money, so you know what, we'll keep them. But interestingly, the question is, why UK? Why is UK the last place that everybody wants to end up? Is it because of the laws here? What do you think is making people think that though we are in France, though we cross, we are in Europe, we're in Italy, we are in Greece, and then we want to cross, we want to still just make our way to the UK? What is it? All right then. So lots more going to be coming away from there. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Labour promises reforms to increase crime solving. The party launches an expert team to help police and prosecutors bring more criminals to justice. Okay, a lot more going to be coming your way. It is a Wednesday edition of the morning show. 2 minutes past the top of the hour. We should have Mr. Olayomi Koiki in the next few moments. But let's enjoy this song from Aduke Odeneye, and it says, "We Worship."
This is Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Radio for the people, by the people. We worship you. We worship you. Thy kingdom come. I will be the right now, right here, Lord. Right here. Thy kingdom come. We worship you. Baba, Baba, Mimo, Baba.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Listening to Starr Radio Morning Show. Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
are you ready to turn it up?
Odeniyi. A lovely tune this morning. We worship. We give thanks and praise to the Almighty God who has made Nigeria not happen to us, whatever the situation might be. But somehow we are still prodding on, aren't we? As Felix will say. Let me say good morning to Pastor Mo, my bishop. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. And Pastor Emmanuel Chidi. All the men of God on the platform, I salute each and every one of you. Your prayers and your support is what sustains us. Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and once we come back, I think I should have Miss Olayomi Koiki coming on. As you know what? We are bringing you all the reports from our North London studios, and we have the crew back there, and therefore it makes it at times busy for all the setup to be done. But they work assiduously. So let's take a commercial break. We should have Mr. Olayomi Koiki with us in a moment. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, and it is the favorite Wednesday edition of the morning show. And I can tell you that now that it's 9 minutes past 11, I'm taking you to our North London studios. And today, you know what? Yomi want to show the world that look, we are also enjoying some summer, whatever it is. Yeah? So let me take you straight to our North London studios, where today Yomi is outside reporting. Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers, and welcome to the bright, sunny, beautiful summertime right here in North London, where we are bringing you the live transmission on the update. I know we are very, very pressed with time, but we will do as much as what we can do this morning. And later on Niger Voices, we will have ample of time to discuss so many other issues pertaining to Nigeria. I'll come back again to you slightly in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yes. How are you doing, and how is the family there?
Well, the family are doing very well. It's good that the holiday is still a couple of weeks to go, but as you can tell, when the holiday is around, there's a lot of activities that you have to keep the children engaged, but we are grateful that the family are doing very well.
Okay, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you in the North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let me pick it from this point. Now, we are waiting to see what the ECOWAS group is going to do with under the leadership of the president of Nigeria. Yes, Tinubu. However, instead of them unleashing their venom via military attack or anything there, invasion or there, what they've done is that they slammed the fresh sanction on Niger Republic following the expiration of the 7-day ultimatum. Okay, just bear with us. The new sanctions are financial sanctions placed through the Central Bank of Nigeria on the coup protests in the Republic of Nigeria. Yomi, people are saying, Tinubu is all math. No action. He said, we're going to do that. And now he's saying, let's place a sanction on them. Yomi.
Well, it seems that, the president is now reviewing, the situation on ground. And what do I mean by that? Just about the end of the month, we saw, the president, talking about action and action. Maybe those action literally means months action. And it doesn't seem that Niger Republic or Republic of Niger will be the only one to be sanctioned now. It seems that there will be more sanction on Burkina Faso as well and Mali. Remember that these two are stating that they will be doing whatever it takes to protect Niger against any kind of invasion, and that will be out of war. But what we're going to be seeing within the next 24 hours, we do know that the president and ECOWAS team will be meeting again tomorrow, and whatever the outcome of tomorrow will determine, what we should be expecting from the communique. After the Sunday, the July end of the month meeting in ECOWAS, the emergency meeting, we knew that the following week on Wednesday, we saw the defense chief from some of the ECOWAS, and it seems that, when you're going to even attack, you must put in the strategic place so that, there will be less casualty. Remember that most of the citizens of Niger are in support of the coup, and they are also ready to come out on the street to confront any ECOWAS foot soldier on their territory.
Of course. They are the ones in the soup, and they know how hot or cold it is. So you standing out there making all those fuss, I bet they will decide what it's going to be. But listeners, Star Radio UK from our North London studios, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. I'm Archie here, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Okay, now let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds Why? Okay, let me pick it from this point. Tinubu's desperation to block release of Chicago University records is abnormal. A U.S. Lawyer is saying. Yesterday we did talk about that, but I wanted to pick it from that point. What has the president said so far about it, and why is it still going on? As you did allude yesterday that the Tinubu, who was supposed to have attended that university, was supposed to be a lady. Maybe who knows?
Well, it seems that the team behind the president is avoiding maybe something that needs to be out in the public domain or not. You will wonder why you want to shield away your university record, especially when you know that you're going to be in the public limelight. In the public limelight, a lot of things will be brought out about you, and sometimes we do know that our politicians in Africa tend to avoid such. Is it because he failed the result and he has actually amended it? Just like the young girl that amended her result in the JAM, she has actually apologized. Maybe this is what Tinubu is avoiding. Nobody knows yet. But what we can categorically say is that it seems that there is something not right when it comes to his result in Chicago.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens on that front. But listeners, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio, okay? Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now we have doctors who are migrating, or people in the health sector who are migrating from Nigeria, most of them to the UK or the US, and some maybe the Saudi Arabia and all the other bits there. Now it's because of the fact that they are not being paid well, and then facilities are not well stocked for them to operate the way they're supposed to. But the Nigerian army is saying that when the doctors return, those who, I don't know whether those who have gone out to go and train, when they return, they are going to be employing them in the military hospital. I mean, if I don't want to be part of the military, why should I be employed in the military hospital in the first place?
Well, what we know is that more doctors have left Nigeria, so I'm not sure where he's getting his own information that there are more doctors planning to return back to the country. We know that, according to records, from the past government, many doctors continue to leave Nigeria for better opportunity in other countries that are ready to accept them. Remember that there was even a recruitment that went on, during the former President Buhari, when I believe from Saudi Arabia or one of the Arab countries came in to do what they called a recruitment on the ground, and eventually, I think the government saw the backlash of that, and that recruitment was stopped. But it seems that the new chief of staff, the chief of army staff, believes that anyone coming back will be employed as a doctor in the country. But like I said, we haven't got the statistics of many doctors returning back home. But we know that there are many leaving Nigeria. Not just doctors, we are talking about even nurses, midwives. Many of them are leaving. I know of a family friend that have arrived less than 3 months under the scheme of the carer in UK. And we know that even Nigeria is still now a country that they are going to review after so many other issues coming around it. But we know that many Nigerians are leaving, coming into Europe for better opportunity. And especially when you can bring all your family, because this family friend not just came alone, she came with children and the husband.
Well, of course. So if somebody is that, I don't know whether to say naive, thinking that, they are all coming and they are going to employ them in the military hospital, why haven't they equipped the other civilian hospitals the way they're supposed to? And why the military hospitals only? My listeners, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, now domestic violence. How prevalent is it in Nigeria?
Well, domestic violence happens when there's no safeguarding. Yesterday, I was talking about safeguarding when it comes to our council, our government, from the state to the federal. But the case of this young woman, or this woman rather, that was attacked by the husband, led to her death. The question is, was this somebody known within the community? Could this have been stopped, or is this just again, family pressure? When women are going through, some of this domestic abuse, and you are told, according to our culture, just to accommodate and accept it, and it seems, what has led to the death of this woman in Lagos State is something that again needs to be reviewed when it comes to women being attacked, and not just women. We know that men are also being attacked, but the question is that family pressure goes in line with many family advising that if you leave your husband, you will end up becoming, just like somebody that doesn't have, respect in the community. But it seems that what led to her death now is something that, we talk about probably later on, during Niger Voices. What should we do? Should we look into the culture that accept women to be killed when they can walk away when there's domestic violence in the household? Or is it because we have a culture that says, let us accommodate it until it leads to death? So we're going to be looking into that during the Niger Voices as part of our conversation tonight.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting topic there that I will allow people to chip in there, because it looks like lots of women are dying. They will say, oh yeah, because of the children I have to be there for them, and they are staying there, they are killing them. Oh, because we are impoverished, and if I leave him, I will not have any maybe home to be in, and my family will be and then they keep on there until they kill them. So what do you think? Do you think that is good enough? Well. Join Mr. Olayomi Koiki this evening exactly at 18 hours BST or 6 p.m. Nigeria time when he brings you Niger Voices. Okay, now, let me hand over to Yomi for him to bring us the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
While millions of Nigerians are still struggling to find out what to eat, it seems that the Senate President Akpabio wasn't aware that they were still live when he actually said this.
Take the oath of office, we shall rearrange the office of the leadership in order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays. A token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly.
It was actually stopped, and he actually rephrased what he wanted to say. Let's listen to what he was going to say again.
I withdraw that statement.
He has withdrawn that statement.
In order to allow you to enjoy your holiday, the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes. I sent prayers to your mailboxes to assist you to go on a safe journey and return.
Well, it seems that he did not realize that they were live when he was actually telling his colleagues that money has been actually sent into their account, until it was brought into attention quickly that this is still a live transmission. This shouldn't be something to be going on air when so many Nigerians are asking what are they going to eat on a daily bread. He actually said, I withdraw that statement, and what I was actually meaning is prayer has now been sent to your mailbox to make sure that you go on it safely and then return back to the Senate, as at the time the Senate will be returning back again. These are kind of the politicians that do not have iota of what is going on in the community, neither do they know what is going on in their surroundings. So this particular video now is one of the most trending one on the social media, as many Nigerians are saying, do we really have politicians that care about us, or do we have politicians that care less? I'm looking at right in front of me, I could see London Daily, right? I'm sure you know what that means. That means that the elderly people will be picked up and then be taken to the local store, do their shopping, and return back home. To my right hand side, I could see again the council cleaning the pavement so that it becomes more tidy. And each time you look again, you can see the buses. These are the kind of questions that continue to be raised. How come Nigeria, the power player of Africa, has not really done so much well to support many of its citizens? ECOWAS plans fresh sanction on Burkina Faso and Mali as the United Nations talks has actually failed. We talked about the businessman that hit his wife's head against war while the victim died. We'll be talking about that a little bit more, but let's look into it. A 30-year-old woman, Rafiat Okewale, is currently grieving over the sudden death of a lady alleged in the hands of the husband, Wale. What do we know? According to the information, Okewale, though married to a businessman, was living separately on Odulusi Street in the Ijoko area of Ota in Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria. She was said to have lost her life during a disagreement that ensured that she visited her husband in gas line area of Ijoko on Sunday to collect money for her children upkeep. The deceased was said to have been having a running battle with the husband over his alleged failure to cater for the children. If this was happening in a civilized society, money would be automatically deducted from the husband, whether he's a businessman, whether he's working in the private or the public sector. But these are part of the system that has failed many Nigerians, and we can only pray for the loss of this particular woman. It seems that Bola Tinubu, the president, continue to try to see if he can bring in the younger one onto his government. Tinubu set 30-day tax reform, and he has also brought in a UI student as one of the panel. President Bola Tinubu yesterday set a 30-day tax reform target. He also expressed his resolve to break the vicious cycle of the over-reliance on borrowing on the public spending and resulting burden of the debt servicing as well. The president spoke while inaugurating the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy, Tax Reform, that is also going to be chaired by Taiwo Oyedele in Abuja. Also, a 400-level economic student of the University of Ibadan, Orire Agbaje, was appointed by the president as a member of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform. Tinubu said our aim is to transform the tax system to support the sustainable development achieved in a minimum of 18% tax to GDP ratio within the next 3 years. Without revenue, government cannot provide adequate social services like I talked about. Again, each time we looked at that, right in front of our window, we could see the cleaning of the street, we could see the tidy up of the environment. All this tends to happen when revenue is generated apart from the government revenue to the London Borough across the United Kingdom, for those of us that are living here as well. So let's go back to one or two more and then we go straight to the social media, what is trending there. But once again, this is still Star Radio UK. It seems again, minors are not being safeguarded. Children are not being safeguarded. Why I am using my 10-year-old niece to carry drugs. This is coming from a trader again in Lagos State. What do we know about this? The Lagos State Police Command has nabbed a female trader, Taye Abbas, who allegedly trafficked a hard drug known as Colorado through a niece name withheld to evade police check. The woman who lives in Okwaba area of Lagos State confessed to the offense while being paraded by the police at the state headquarters in the Ikeja, Lagos State yesterday. Abbas says she always used the girl to transport the drugs from their house to the shop to avoid being checked, as no one would suspect a small girl. Again, is somebody aware of this happening in the environment without reporting it? Safeguarding is one of the most important parts when it comes to children here. We've seen a lot of lapses as well, but it seems that as the lapses is there, there's more reason to tighten it up. But as we say, many Nigerians do face difficulties when there is no support from the system as well. So we hope more will be done as well. We're going to go straight to the social media. And like I said, let's play one more time what Akpabio said in the Senate, which is the talk of the conversation this morning on all the social media. And I'll be telling you what Omoyele Sowore is saying as well. But for now, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And this is exactly how Akpabio said it yesterday.
Take the oath of office. We shall rearrange the office of the leadership in order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays. A total has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly.
He was actually interrupted when he was to be told that we are still live, and this is what he had to say again.
I withdraw that statement.
He has actually withdrawn the statement.
In order to allow you to enjoy your holidays, the the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes. I send prayers to your mailboxes to assist you to go on a safe journey and return. This Senate.
Well, you heard him right there. Rather than saying token has been sent, he has actually changed it to money. Prayer has been sent to your own different, I don't know what he was thinking of, but whatever he was thinking of, he was probably not aware that Nigerians were still listening while he was saying that. Let's look at the reaction this morning on the social media because of the time constraint, as we have to go to the PQ later on this morning. Once again, it is still Star Radio UK. Omoyele Sowore said, they send huge funds to their individual bank account to enjoy undeserved holidays and then urge you to pray for your country or send prayer to you. Hashtag revolution now. There's a lot of reaction on that, but like I said, let's look at some of what is trending as well this morning. El Rufai is trending. Remember that El Rufai is not yet being cleared as a minister yet. Benin is trending, as many Yoruba are now asking the government of Bola Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to now, for sake of peace in the land and also to all the royal fathers, to lift the embargo on Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho as quickly as possible to avoid any other confrontation, any other instability in Yoruba land, especially after he has lost his precious mother. The right thing for the government to do is to lift the embargo now on Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho before it is too late. Now they're not sure why it is taking that long. Again, Simon Ekpa is responding to an article again on him. The article says, Ekpa rejection of Kano call for peace, camp in the southeast is not his disciple but an enemy. But the government in exercise, Simon Ekpa say, una go explain tire without no evidence. He has actually said he wants to see Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the IPOB, in Finland, not on a video call, not on a WhatsApp call, and not on a purported letter that was brought out from nowhere under his lawyers from the DSS custody. So let's take a few more. Again, 62 MD to stop direct revenue collection, according to the FRC, will take charge the presidential committee. And from Ademola, we talked about that yesterday. Let's take one more. There's also protest of the Igbos in Niger Republic against the proposed military action by the government as well. And again, Al Akpabio mistakenly exposed senators' holiday allowance paid, but he has actually said it was a mistake. All I was saying is I'm sending you prayer rather than that. And I think I'm going to come back again to you, but later on at 1800 hours, there will be enough time to discuss Akpabio, to discuss the human abuse and why we should safeguard children from being used as a courier for drugs for those that are involved in this criminality in Nigeria. Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And I'm going to come back again to you now in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Listeners, wherever you are, I'm sending prayers into your accounts this morning. How true is that? How do you take that? Am I taking you for fools? You don't send prayers to people's accounts. You send money to their accounts. So the Senate president was saying the right thing. That's what they are doing. That is what they've been doing. And I've been asking the questions: do we vote them into power to go and serve us, or they become kings over us, lorded over us, and we have to go to them to beg? And when it comes to elections, they come with their envelopes, give a few nairas or few CDs or whatever, and they will go vote for them again. They come to sit on our heads. What do you think is happening in Nigeria? Listen at Star Radio UK. Wonders will never happen. Yomi, before we go.
Well, join us again at 1800 hours when we come back again with Niger Voices. And it's going to be, 3-in-1, as we talked about Akpabio, the senator. Maybe it was a prayer. Maybe we need more prayer. Or maybe it was the money. And if it's the money, maybe the money will also be helped, some of those senators to help Nigerians that are living in their constituency. We're going to talk about domestic abuse of women. And we're going to be talking about, using children as a courier to carry illicit drugs, not just in Nigeria. We know this is happening as well, and we might also touch on what is happening in Haiti, as gangs have taken 80% of that particular part of the globe.
Okay, Yomi, let me say thank you very, very much for that wonderful
Thank you so much.
Yes, well, listeners, this evening exactly at 18 hours or 6 p.m., Yomi is going to be coming your way with Niger Voices. And as I said, it's enumerated a few things. Well, we send prayers into your account. Or is it money in their account? And maybe that money is going to be used on their constituents. As someone saying, just leave them alone. This money that they'll come to the constituency and come and give it to us. Okay, good one there. Or is it prayers? And then domestic abuse. How are we dealing with that? Do we say we use our culture and say, you know what, a woman is supposed to be submissive and be under the cover of their husband, and therefore when they are beating the hell out of you, you decide to say that you have to stay there. It is your cross, carry that cross, and one day, poof, you are gone. Your family loses big time. You go to heaven or hell, and you see how the devil will be smashing your face because you didn't use your common sense. You could have stayed away. But again, temper. How do we deal with all that? And then using children as courier. That's child abuse. So, you want to know more? Yomi is going to bring in you all that this afternoon, this evening, exactly at 6 p.m. When it brings you the Niger Voices. Let's take a musical break. We come back. Yes, then I'll bring you all the starter stories making the rounds. But let me announce the lines open before we go. 0208 133 2257 or 5802 133 2257 or 58. If you happen to be in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, 0017183032737, 0017183032737. You can text or WhatsApp as 0753966144, 0753966174. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. So let us hear from you, but let's take this break and we will be with you. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK. 11:37 the time. Now we've got about another 23 minutes. So let's crack on, and then we'll bring you the music, the final one. So wherever you are, stay tuned and don't you go away. Okay. So now let's move on straight. This number, I'm not very sure of that. Yeah. Okay. All right then. Let me see whether the person was trying to call us here in the studio. I'm not very sure of it, but okay. All right then. So wrong. Tanya Kane. All right. Okay. So I More stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, notably, as I did say earlier on, 41 migrants died in shipwreck off Italy's Lampedusa coast, and musician Salif Keita resigns from political body. I hereby submit my resignation effective July 31, 2023 as a member of the National Transitional Council for purely personal reasons. That is Mali's musician, Keita. It says, I hereby submit my resignation effectively the 31st of July 2023 as a member of the National Transitional Council for purely personal reasons, said a message attributed to Salif Keita and read by an official in open session. I will always remain the undisputed friend of my country's military, says the short text, which gives no details of the personal reasons given. A great name in Afropop and world music, Salif Keita, 73, is also known for his political commitment, and since the advent of the colonies, the colonels, following a push in 2020, his support for the junta. He has agreed to sit on the National Transitional Council set up by the junta in 2020 as the legislative body for the so-called transition period, which is supposed to precede a return to civilian power. Mr. Keita has publicly expressed his support for junta's talk of sovereignty. A few months ago, he openly called for the departure of the UN peacekeeping mission, MINUSMA, since officially announced by the UN Security Council. Now, since 2012, Mali has been gripped by a deep-rooted security crisis that started in the north and spread to the center of the country, as well as to the neighboring Burkina Faso and Niger. Okay, so Salif Keita has resigned from the transitional body in Mali. Okay, in Zimbabwe as well, Zimbabwe opposition faces challenges but won't give up. Chamisa is saying that Zimbabwe's opposition faces many challenges, including political violence 2 weeks ahead of the August 23rd presidential and parliamentary election, but will not give up, promised its leader Nelson Chamisa on Tuesday evening. Now, speaking at the launch of his party's manifesto in Bulawayo, the country's second largest city, Mr. Chamisa said the ruling ZANU-PF was in panic mode and was resorting to dirty tactics, including political violence, because the opposition was gaining ground. We will fight them in the courts. We will fight them at the ballot box, and if necessary, we will fight them in the streets. We won't give up because we have the support of the people, but above all, God is on our side, said Chamisa, a 45-year-old lawyer and pastor, pledging to rebuild the country around what he calls a citizenocracy, a democracy based on citizens. Mr. Chamisa said he wanted to restore it on the basis of modernization and reconciliation. And I've talked about that several times, that the kind of democracy that we practice, I don't think is suitable to us. No, I don't think so. And Sierra Leone says 14 soldiers and 3 police officers are under investigation for subversion. Now, 14 Sierra Leone soldiers, 3 current and former police officers, and 2 civilians have been arrested and under investigation for subversion, while a manhunt is underway for 8 others, the Inspector General said on Tuesday. Last week, police said they had arrested several people who were planning violent attacks on the anniversary of the fatal riots in August 2022 that left more than 30 people dead. They said they were working to undermine the peace and tranquility of the state and planning to use peaceful protests scheduled for this week as a goals to unleash violent attacks against state institutions and peaceful citizens. Of the 14 arrested members of the armed forces, 8 are ranked between lieutenants and major, while 6 are non-commissioned officers ranking between private and sergeant. Inspector General William Fayaya Salu said in a press conference on Tuesday. It's all Starr Radio, okay? 14 minutes to the top of the hour at the time. My apologies, 17 minutes to the top of the hour at the time. The morning show, the program. A flag bearer of the New Patriotic, a flag bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Kwabena Japan, has said that he is disappointed former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa kept huge sums of money in her home. My question is, if she genuinely got that money, what is her beef? What is her problem? Why should she be worried of putting the money in an account in the bank? Is it that maybe she will need the money and cannot be able to go and cash that money out, and that was what was causing her to behave that way? Now, what for me I worry about, especially with this case, was the fact that an amount of money that was found in the household. Suffice it to say, I was disappointed that that amount of money was in the household. It's important that we realize that we cannot, as politicians, preach one thing and do another, he said. So when you're encouraging everybody to be part of the formal economy, the least we can do as leaders is to lead by example. So I was disappointed that she will keep the amount of money in the household. It is important that as political leaders, we should have the political will to do the right thing for our country, he stated. This comes after an Accra Circuit Court was told in July that huge sums of money and other items of Sanitation Minister Cecilia Abena-Japa and her husband Daniel Seikufuo has been stolen from their Abelenke home. Let me say good morning to Olayomi Klanko. Yes, good morning, Starr Radio UK, Archie, Olayomi, and the fans. And we love you to bits. And we say thank you very much for joining us as well. It is Starr Radio UK. Well, okay. Now moving on straight to some other stories as well, because we are already pressed with time, as I did say earlier on. Now, governance analyst Dr. Fred Odro has said changing the law to allow Parliament to have some level of control over the common fund can breed corruption. This comes on the back of the Deputy Minority Whip, Ibrahim Ahmed, accusing the local government, rural development and decentralization minister, Dan Bochwe, of kicking above his weight in the impasse with common fund administrator Irene Toshi. The minister has written to President Akufo-Addo to complain about the failure of the administrator to collaborate with his ministry in the discharge of her duties. The minister explains all attempts to get Toshi to report to him for the past 2.5 years have proven futile. Commenting on the development, the governance analyst stated that Parliament cannot support management of the common funds effectively like the Ministry of Local Government will do. The MPs have found a way to say that they directly control the fund, that the fund administrator will always need the MP, not the minister. It goes against corporate governance. This is where in future we're going to see a lot of challenges with administration of that fund. The members of Parliament were not going to be there day to day to supervise what is going on with the fund administration. The ministry has got capacity. Often when we talk about the ministry, we are not just talking about just the minister. The minister has got a whole bureaucracy supporting him and ensure that the fund will do what is expected of it. What does Parliament got to support them to ensure that the fund performs its functions, except going to the Public Accounts Committee? Mr. Odro also stated there. And this is all Starr Radio UK. And it's your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right then. So now let's move on to one other story, and then we move on. So in other parts of the world as well, now 41 migrants have died in the shipwreck of Italy. Now 41 migrants have died in the shipwreck of Italian island of Lampedusa. Survivors told local media. A group of 4 people who survived the disaster told rescuers that they were on a boat that had set off from Sfax in Tunisia and sank on its way to Italy. The 4 survivors, originally from the Ivory Coast and Guinea, reached Lampedusa on Wednesday. More than 1,800 people have lost their lives so far this year in the crossing from North Africa to Europe. The survivors, 3 men and a woman, told rescuers that they were on the boat carrying 45 people, including 3 children. They said the boat, which was about 7 meters, that's 20 feet long, left Sfax on Thursday last week, but sank within hours after being hit by a big wave. Only 15 people are understood to have been wearing life vests. Interesting one there. It is welcome your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, in France as well, 9 bodies have been found and 2 more people were feared dead after a fire at a holiday home hosting people with learning disability in France. Nearly 80 firefighters were sent to the blaze in La Forge after emergency services were alerted at 06:30 hours. That's 04:30 GMT on Wednesday. The missing people are considered potentially deceased, according to a local official. The cause of the fire at the property is not yet clear. 17 people were evacuated from the building, while at least 1 person has been taken to hospital. Interior Minister Gerard Damanin earlier confirmed the rescue operation was underway, but said it was likely there were several casualties from the fire in the town, which is located near Winsingham, close to the German border. In a statement, the local government for the Haute-Rhine region said the group were from Nancy, also in eastern France. 4 fire engines and 76 firefighters were sent to tackle the blaze, who quickly brought it under control despite the strength of the fire, it added. Well, pictures that I'm seeing here is not a beauty one at all. It's quite a devastating issue that has taken place there. But to the lost, we say may their souls rest in perfect peace. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, 2 other stories that we come to the UK. A Canadian rapper, Tory Lanez, has been sentenced to 10 years for shooting fellow musician Megan Thee Stallion. Lanez shot Grammy winner Megan Thee Stallion in the feet during an argument between the pair after a party in 2020. Now, he was found guilty on 3 gun-related charges in December and has been held in jail since. The shooting, which polarized the music world, left Megan Thee Stallion needing surgery to remove bullet fragments from her foot. The LA District Attorney, George Gascon, said that the verdict that her fame has brought an important spotlight on the issue of violence against women. The shooting occurred during the journey home from a pool party hosted at reality star Kylie Jenner's Hollywood mansion. The prosecutors had asked the judge for a 13-year prison sentence. They said Lanez, 31, deserved a lengthy sentence for shooting a vulnerable victim on a quiet residential street and for waging a campaign to humiliate and re-traumatize her after the attack. Lanez's real name, Daystar Peterson, has been had 7 US top 10 albums in the past 7 years. He was convicted of 3 felonies: assault with a semi-automatic firearms, having a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. His lawyers argued he should get probation and time in a drug treatment program. It is unclear if Lanez is now facing deportation to Canada as well. Jose Baez said his client planned to appeal due to significant issues with the trial. Well. Sanity. Alright then, Starr Radio UK. Now, one other story from the world front, and then we come to the UK, as I did say earlier on. This story, I'm saying that if it happened that it happened in Africa, I would say some witches and my friend would say witches and wizards were the ones who perpetrated it. But a Texas woman was attacked by a hawk and a snake at the same time after the bird, which eats snakes, accidentally dropped the wriggling serpent on her. Now, Peggy Jones, 64, was moving her lawn last month when a passing hawk dropped a snake on her before swooping down to angrily try to reclaim its meal. The snake wrapped itself around her arm and began striking her face as the bird sank its talons deep into her flesh. The terrifying ordeal left her with cuts and bruising to her arm and face. The bizarre incident took place on the 25th of July in the town of Silsbee, Texas, near the Louisiana border. It began after a snake suddenly fell out of the sky and landed on her. Before she could remove it, the hawk attack began, and as I was trying to sling my arm and sling the snake off, the snake wrapped around my arm. She said, "My goodness, oh." The snake was striking in my face. It struck my glasses a couple of times. I was slinging and slinging. He was striking and striking, and he kept hanging on. My goodness. Whew. Now, she's got a very massive garden back where she was mowing. So, you can, I don't know whether it's a mowing truck that she was actually using there. But if it did happen in my, on my continent is, which one? Africa, right? I think I'll be attributing it to some witches and wizards that this time they landed properly on her. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and the final story here in the UK, and then we can bring this program to a close. Wow. That was the story about this crash victims in Cardiff. But information coming through this morning has said that the victims of a fatal car crash had been drinking and inhaling laughing gas before the accident, a friend told police. Raphael Jenny, 24, Daisy Ross, 21, and Eve Smith, 21, died while two other passengers survived with injuries. A six-passenger, Joel Leah, had driven the same car earlier that evening, was later charged with driving offenses. Now, court papers revealed he told police that everyone in the group was intoxicated. The accident happened on the A48 near the St. Mellons area of Cardiff at 2:03 a.m. on Saturday, 4th of March, in a Volkswagen Tiguan veered off. When a Volkswagen Tiguan veered off a slip road approaching a roundabout and came to rest in a small copse of trees, and they lost their lives there. Well. Okay. A final story, and then we go. Our families are 7 police constable has said that the accidental publication of personal details of police officers in Northern Ireland brought home the fears his family have about his safety. In response to a Freedom of Information request, the Police Service of Northern Ireland shared names of all police and civilian personnel where they were based and their roles. A spreadsheet containing the details was then published online. It was removed a few hours later, but I bet you people have seen it and copied it and done all sorts to it already. The constable, who is not being named for security reasons, said many colleagues went to great lengths to protect their identities and will be worried. Since joining the service, I have moved houses and spent a considerable amount of money making sure it is secure and give me and my loved ones peace of mind, he said. I've chosen to do this job and over time have become accustomed to the risks. But what this breach had done is highlight the fear and concern that my family have about doing this job. More than 300 police officers were murdered in Northern Ireland during the 30 years of violence known as Troubles, and officers and staff remain under threat from Republican paramilitaries. The most recent attack was when Detective Chief Inspector John Caldwell was seriously injured in a shooting in Omagh County, Tyrone. The threat to officers means they must be extremely vigilant about their security. So now that it's all been released, where do you go? Do you fly from that part of the world? Do you move into another country? What would you actually do? Well, it's interesting to know what African leaders will do. They will say, it is time for the holidays, and therefore we'll put some bonuses into your account so you can enjoy the holidays. Meanwhile, majority of the people are suffering. In Nigeria, we have about 130 million people who are under the impoverished line, the poverty line. In Ghana, we have, I think, about half of the population or more under that as well. And those who are working is all But what do you think about all that? Well, tomorrow I'll be coming your way once again with the Thursday edition of the morning show. But for now, we're going to bring the program to a close. Just a few seconds to 12 o'clock. And this evening exactly at 18 hours or 6 p.m., Olayomi Koiki will be coming your way with the Niger Voices. He will be looking at domestic abuse, child abuse, or using child as modes of trafficking drugs. And of course, the statement by Akpabio. We pray, we send prayers into your account, but into our account, monies will come in. What about that? Well, okay then. So let me say thank you very much. It's been me, Archie, and Mr. Olayomi Koiki, and our producer, Mr. Francis Guy, who brought you this program today. And I will say, have a lovely day, have a lovely afternoon, whatever you are doing. May Nigeria not happen to you, as we say on this platform. But enjoy this song. It is from the Zongo Man, and it says, the problem of Africa is to the leaders. All right?
The problem of Africa is the elite. Who run things, who run things, who run things. The problem of Africa is the elite. Who run things, who run things, who run things. Them all go to universities. Universities award them degrees. Big degrees. Degrees. Big degrees. MSc in stealing. But
thanks for listening.
Masters in